The plane's wheels screech against the runway. Your stomach twists. You're finally here, London. The air outside the aircraft smells different, colder, realer. You step into the jet bridge with a suitcase, a phone at 14% battery, and a dream you've nursed for years. This isn't just a vacation. For many like you, it's a new chapter, perhaps the beginning of a better life. But as your feet move forward, your mind races backward. To the documents you double-check 10 times. The last call from your mother, that lingering worry. What if something goes wrong? Welcome to Heathrow Airport, the United Kingdom's most iconic gateway, a place where journeys begin or end before they even start. Every single day, more than 200,000 people pass through Heathrow's terminals. Tourists, business travelers, returning residents, and first-time immigrants. But not all are treated equally. Beneath the polished floors and digital arrival boards lies a complicated, invisible maze. A system of quiet evaluations, quick decisions, and enormous consequences. The moment you enter immigration, a new kind of pressure begins. Cameras track your steps. Facial recognition software scans your expression. Immigration officers observe how you walk, where you look, how confidently or fearfully you stand in line. You haven't even spoken a word, and already your profile is forming in someone's system. You inch closer to the booths. The tension is thick, unspoken. You hear a man 2 rows down being asked why he has no return ticket. The woman ahead of you is asked about her accommodation. Her voice trembles. She forgot the postcode of her cousin's house. The officer frowns. She's sent to secondary screening, and then it's your turn. The officer barely looks up. Passport, please. You hand it over. You smile, but they don't. They scan your documents. A pause. Their eyes scan the screen. They type something. Another pause. They ask you your purpose of visit, your intended length of stay, who you're staying with, how much cash you're carrying. The questions seem normal, but then comes the curveball. Have you ever applied for a UK visa before? You stumble. You had years ago, but it was rejected. You explain. Their typing slows. They ask to see your return ticket again, your letter of invitation, your proof of funds. Now their questions become less friendly, more probing. You're trying to stay calm, but inside your heart is pounding. Then they utter the words, "Please come with us." You're escorted to secondary screening, a phrase that, for many immigrants, feels like a courtroom with no jury and no rights. The room is sterile, gray, and cold. No windows, just rows of chairs. Phones are confiscated. You're told to wait. Minutes stretch into hours. Others sit beside you, some silent, some whispering prayers, some visibly breaking down. You watch a man in his 50s ask for water and be ignored. A student with a visa begins to cry after being told his university sponsor letter isn't convincing enough. A mother with a toddler is interrogated for 4 hours while her child falls asleep hungry in her lap. No one here is charged with a crime, yet everyone is treated like a suspect. Eventually, an officer calls your name. You're taken into a small room and questioned again, this time by someone from Border Force, or perhaps UKVI. They're polite, but sharp. You feel the walls closing in as they dig through your story. Where did the money in your bank account come from? Why is your travel history inconsistent? Why didn't you declare you have relatives already in the UK? You answer everything honestly, but doubt is a dangerous thing. Once it takes root, truth often loses power. Across the UK, immigration control has tightened significantly in recent years. Post-Brexit border policy changes have led to stricter entry requirements, even for those with valid visas. The environment is tense, nationalistic, and skeptical, and Heathrow has become a frontline checkpoint, a place where the concept of controlled borders plays out in real time. And yet, for every horror story, there is a success. A refugee family from Syria welcomed with blankets and shelter. A Kenyan artist who nervously passed through screening only to later exhibit at the Tate Modern. A quiet man from Lahore who was detained for 6 hours, then finally allowed to enter, and today owns a shop in Birmingham. Their stories don't go viral, but they matter. Still, the process is unpredictable. Sometimes it's not what you've done, but how you're perceived. Are you too nervous? Too prepared? Too confident? The officers have mere minutes to decide your fate, and not every decision is fair. There was a case of a South African woman whose visa was valid, but she was denied entry because her sponsor's address didn't match recent property records. She was detained overnight, her phone taken, and deported the next morning, never given the chance to explain. Another young man from India, here to join his brother, was held for hours because of a typo in his invitation letter. He was eventually allowed in, but not before breaking down emotionally and nearly missing his connecting train. The truth is, Heathrow immigration is not just a line you stand in, it's a barrier between your past and your future. A single misunderstanding, an error in documents, a wrong tone of voice. Any of these could mean denial, deportation, or worse, a ban from the UK for years. And still, people come, because despite the scrutiny, the UK represents hope to millions. Education, employment, freedom, safety. These things are worth the risk, even if that risk begins at Heathrow. And perhaps the most tragic part? The silence. People who are deported rarely talk about it. They're embarrassed, ashamed, terrified of being judged. They return home quietly, broken, and carry that pain forever. Families don't ask questions. Communities whisper. No one tells the full story. But behind those closed doors at Terminal 3 and Terminal 5, real lives are being altered every day. So next time you see someone standing at immigration, looking anxious, fidgeting with papers, pause your judgment. That person could be fighting for their future. That booth could determine whether their child goes to school in safety or grows up in fear. That officer's stamp could be the beginning of a dream or the end of it. The United Kingdom has every right to protect its borders, but protection should never come at the cost of humanity. Immigration is not just about policy, it's about people. People with hearts, with families, with dreams bigger than passports. Heathrow may be the most powerful immigration checkpoint in the world, but what truly matters is how power is used, with fairness, empathy, and justice. And now it's your turn. If you've ever experienced anything like this, or know someone who has, share their story in the comments below. Let their voices be heard, and if this video opened your eyes to what really happens at UK immigration, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel, because these are the stories they don't want you to know, and the world needs to hear.